this Army story is pretty funny. Like I said before, I was a Black Hawk mechanic and crew chief during my time in the Army. And my first duty assignment was Fort Hood, Texas. Going from being a mechanic to a crew chief is pretty straightforward. You get picked up by a flight company, you go there, and then they train you up to become an RL1 crew chief. You go from RL3, RL2 to RL1. RL1 means you can fly by yourself, whatever mission that comes out that your company is slotted for. Different companies are slotted for different missions inside of battalions or regiments or combat brigade teams, right? One of the missions that my company had was the Bambi bucket mission there in Central Texas. So any wildfires that happen, they call us up. Crew chief hooks up the Bambi bucket, and they fly off, they get some water, and you let go the water over the fire and you put out the fire. It's pretty simple. Well, usually when it comes to a Bambi bucket mission, when we were first up for Bambi, report to PT in flight uniform, flight suit. You go off to the aircraft after everyone starts PT, we go off to the airfield and prep the aircraft. So as RL1 crew chief, I'd prep the aircraft. I'd go out to the field and make sure the Bambi bucket was good, get that ready and set up so when we come over I can hook it up easy. And I usually took the seats out, the seats inside the cabin. Now as a newer crew chief, I was advised to get 2 different monkey harness straps. Get a long one for doing assault missions, making sure that everyone's, get out the aircraft, make sure everyone's got their rucksack and all that stuff, and then get back in, and before I sit in my seat and buckle up, I could tell the pilots that I'm secure and they could take off. And I also had a smaller monkey harness strap, and that was for missions like the Bambi bucket mission. So I'd hook up my monkey harness strap, the short one, hook it up to the floor, and then I would just lay down on the floor with my head over the lower door track there so I could see out and see the bucket, release the water, so forth, right? It wasn't my first Bambi bucket mission as a brand new RL1 crew chief, but it was pretty early on. So we go to PT, we get released, we go to the aircraft, we prep it, we run up, take off, we go over to the Bambi bucket, I hook it up, call the pilots over and up, and we go out and we go to test the Bambi bucket to make sure it's good to go for that day. And out at West Fort Hood, where I was at, just past the airfield, was a little pond that we would use to get water, test the bucket, all that stuff. I can't remember why I was rushed, but I was rushed. And I went up to my flight locker, got my flight bag, grabbed my monkey harness tail, threw it in there, got my helmet, went out there, and got stuff done. We go out to the little pond, dip the bucket down, pick up water, test the bucket, it's good. And then we do some practice drops. And after the last practice drop, we're going to turn around and head back to the airfield and park and wait for them to call us and to go put out some fires. So when we turned around to go back to the airfield, when you have a sling load, you can't exceed a certain angle because of that sling load. And with that Bambi bucket there, technically a sling load. Well, we didn't exceed the angle, but we got kind of close. And I remember from my past missions that, oh, hey, no big deal. I might slide a little bit, but my monkey harness is there to catch me. So we go into this turn and I start sliding. And I'm like, you know what? My harness is gonna catch me, I'm good. I kept sliding. I'm like, okay, any minute it's gonna stop me from sliding. Sure enough, I grabbed the wrong monkey harness. I grabbed my long mission monkey harness. Yeah, I slid right out the side of that helicopter. And I can still see the rivets in the door track very, very clearly. It's like when stuff like that happens, everything starts to go slow motion because you're starting to speed up your processing, like, oh crap, I'm gonna die. And I slide right out that helicopter and I feel a tug. Boom. I'm so glad that I actually hooked up the monkey harness. But again, I'm hanging out the aircraft. So if anyone was to look at the aircraft flying, you could see the Black Hawk, me, and then the Bambi bucket. And I'm sitting there swinging, spinning around, can't really control what's happening to me. But I managed to get the mic boom into my mouth so that I could say, hey, I fell out the aircraft. And the pilots were like, good one, dude, good one. And I was like, no, look in the back, I'm not there. So the pilot on controls, he goes, okay, he turns around and he sees my monkey harness strap hooked in, going off to the side and straight out. And he's like, holy crap. He's out of the aircraft. And the other pilot's like, oh, so they're like, what do we do? What do we do? So I was like, don't worry, let's just, land. And then the pilot says, you see that field out there? We're gonna land right there. So call us down and we'll fix this. So I really can't see the field that he's talking about because I'm spinning and it's crazy. We get to the open field that he said he wanted to land at. And by that time, I was able to grab the Bambi bucket cables, and it kind of stabilized me because we were at a hover. and I call the pilots down, the bucket hits, then I have them continue down a little bit lower, and then have them slide the aircraft to the right and set down. And as they were sitting down, as soon as my feet were able to touch, I touched, popped up, jumped in there, pulled that monkey harness strap tight, tied a knot in it so it couldn't, loosen again. That was pretty much it. We picked up, headed back to the airfield there, parked, and our flight crew said we were going to talk about it. Now, here's a clip of a Navy crew chief having the same exact thing happen to him what happened to me. But his is over water, over a ship. Pretty crazy. I bet you he's going to remember that for the rest of his life like I remember mine. Be sure to like and subscribe. And if you guys like my work and would like to support it, head on over to ballisticink.com. You guys can go to my page and select from the designs I've made or the communal designs that everybody sells. I also have a Patreon page if you'd like to support me that way too. Don't forget to stop by the Facebook page because we usually have a fun time there. Well, that's all I got. See you next time.